Hey, welcome everyone to Behavior Code. We got Andrew Ratterman here in the house from San Diego. Online, I'm here in San Jose. I'm your host, Yogi Chris, PhD, founder of Ninth Limb Yoga and IMC Nation commander, let's say. I'll just say that. I'm just saying that. I should let Arash say it. He already did say it actually in private, but he hasn't said it in public. So it's a cool name. It's a good word, right? And I'm here with Andrew Ratterman. Andrew has done so many events. I don't even need to name them all. His evolution is incredible. We've had him on the show before. And if you're just now catching this the first time on whatever platform you're on, make sure you hit that subscribe. It's a rolls off the tongue how I just said what I said. It is fun. It's like beatboxing almost. Mm-hmm. So Andrew, man, what's going on with you? We were talking about the philosophies of the beast, morals and ethics of the beast, and the beast as this core avatar or archetype that we're really working into our life through the practices that Arash Bazar has given us. So what can you tell us about it?
So, wow. The beast has actually just been life-changing, like, all around. And it's this energy that Arash has taught us. And I have the chills, honestly, just talking about it right now. My hair's standing up on my arms. But wow. It's something that I've noticed in myself, and I've noticed extremely a lot in just everyone around. And you could say that it's a certain energy, and the energy based off getting after it really every single day. And there's a certain disciplines that we do: wake up early, work out hard, eat as clean as possible. And it's really done some things, honestly. It's allowed me a lot cleaner on the inside, because there was still some, and it's a never-ending process, but still some like lies or some things that you could just look away from internally that just aren't really being looked away from anymore. And yeah, it's what I've really liked from the beast, teachings of the beast. It's things that I used to think were important and now aren't.
Like what?
So, for instance, I used to think like just going out and drinking, like, like I should go out and drink. I think Corona has helped with that as well.
Of course.
And thinking like I was getting something when I would sleep in. I used to be like, all right, well, I could sleep in today and then I'm going to get this extra advantage. But now that is extremely gone. It's like I missed out on time.
Yeah.
So those are two big ones. And from the last boot camp, there was a moment that was huge for me. It was the Saturday in between the lectures. And I went to the park by the Airbnb by myself. And for some reason, I was just sitting on the table. And there's just like this feeling where you're just like, you probably had it from the events before, where you're just like, oh my God. And just like, don't even know what to say or how to explain it to anyone. And it's in the boot camps are kind of like the thing where you can't really explain it to someone who wasn't there, because I feel like I don't even know what to say, but they could just sense it. And I realized I was using some things as vices to just kind of escape from reality. So, yeah, I mean, ever since then, I haven't smoked weed, and I think I smoked weed like 1 or 2 days back, but I don't know. And what also changed me pretty much on that note was the event before on that Saturday. This is like an accumulation.
Yeah.
Smoked this blunt on the way there, on the way to the event on Saturday. And I was so pissed off after, because there was a point during the event where I was like so high, but wasn't like, I was trying to see Arash, it was like my eyes were so blurry. I was like, I can barely even see him. I'm like 10 feet away. Yeah. And I just was kind of upset with myself a little bit.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was going to hit me that high. And there's been just other times where I was so high where I'm just like not asleep, but like kind of asleep. And it's not like I don't like the weed, but it just came to the point where I realized I was being less optimal on it. And the beast, the energy of the beast that we're talking about, it's just like a complete sharpness. And there's no like really like relaxations. Not relaxations. That's not the right word. Vacations. In your days, it's always just the beast just gets after it all all day, and it's just nonstop.
That's true.
Before I was like, I would like, get high here, not do shit for a few hours, or then just like, oh. So that's my own personal thing. I'm not against weed, obviously, or anything like that, but those are just some things that the beast energy has allowed me to just, no, there is no time for slacking off. It's complete sharp, it's complete focus. And what also is new with me, I want to add, is I found myself like the past like weekish, almost the happiest when I'm reading.
Yeah.
It's weird. I think everything helps with it, but I'm going through like 3 different books right now, and
it's an escape.
It's a lot of happiness, but it's a learning at the same time though too.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it took a man or woman to the process to edit and produce a book, and then it was successful enough that it made it through the world and to you, and it was a topic of your interest, and you're reading about it. The time it took into, the spelling, the grammar, it totally transports your mind out of your grammar into their grammar, and which is magic, man. It's like right there. That's the consciousness of what you're interested in at the highest level, because they succeeded in getting a book to you.
Yeah.
It's a trip. It's a trip. Books are really a trip, man. Man, I relate a lot with some of those experiences because I wasn't living in California, right? So I'd travel from out of state, and the weed was way better than where I was used to. So I would arrive into town, go to the cannabis, get the cannabis, go to the event. Oh shit, I'm too high. And then,
Yeah, I remember you were sleeping that one event. We're like, Chris.
When he was like hypnotizing me while I was like on my back or something.
Yeah, that was hilarious. He's like, there's beautiful women here.
I need to listen to that recording still. It's there. I haven't listened.
It was so funny.
I wonder what else I'll remember if I go back and hear it. So actually how is hypnotherapy? Is this something you're still practicing or have ambitions of, or what is, we're second time on the show. And if you don't know, go back and listen to his other episode if you want to know more about Andrew.
Yeah, thanks. I honestly haven't been doing that much hypnotherapy. Like I'll do it to myself, and I have a client that we're pretty consistent, but for some reason, like, I know I'm good and I like to do it sometimes, but like.
Well, lately you're petitioning, right? And is getting signatures from pedestrians, I guess, outside of major storefronts and plazas and so on, to recall the Satan child eating pedophile Gavin Newsom. And maybe he's not pedophile. I actually don't have evidence of that. I haven't seen that.
I was going to let it go though.
He colludes with say. What's that?
I said I was going to let it go though if you were just going to say it.
Yeah, it's propaganda maybe, but he's doing some
he's not a good governor.
Things. He's doing some more things, right?
Yeah. And there's 3 petitions on it, and this is another thing that I just want to say that's great about the boot camps was before I was making like 21 or 51 an hour from my concrete cutting job, and it's like you go to the events, which are expensive, the AZD events, but because I've been going to the events, the group of people are a high class level people, and you get around these people, and all of a sudden there's an opportunity for you to make way more money just because you're at the event. And it's not just the lectures, which are obviously amazing, but it's the group of people that are there. And because of going to the event, I got hooked up with Jonathan, and because of Jonathan, basically got the opportunity to do the petitioning. And now simply because of that, I'm in a position where that money-making opportunities are a lot more available to me than previously, all just because you show up and you meet people that study AZD, and those are obviously, for some reason, I don't want to say the best people, but yeah, it's like we're all like-minded people here, and we all click, and there's something about it when there's a certain type of energy.
They're the best people for you. They're the best people for me.
Yes, for us.
I've made that decision in my life that this is best. I'm the decider, and these are the best people for me because we agree on so many values that motion together is more frictionless.
Mm-hmm. And most times before you go to an event, or you just like see the people online, but it's different when you see them in real life, because in the real life, all of us, if we're not linking up, it's not common where you're like, it's just not common to find people like that. That it's just not.
And I really like this conversation because I've been emailing more and more. Shout out to the newsletter, IMC newsletter. If you don't know about it, then you're missing out. You got to go. The link is in the description and everywhere. And so I've been emailing the guys the episodes, and we've got a lot of people in that newsletter. And for one of the reasons, like one of the second most popular episode that we've done is the philosophy of the beast, which is a recent episode. This is episode like 37 or something. Like 4 or 5 episodes ago, I did Nico Tupan, and he went hard on the philosophy of the beast. Very similar vibe. How your words and how you just start talking about the beast doesn't take vacations. The beast is always on, and just hearing you say it, I can relax my mind and hear someone else say it. And so it revitalizes me. I was going over this with Ivan Bustos at the last 2 boot camps ago or something. And I taught him something and he reflected it back to me like 5 minutes later. And it revitalized me because I started going yin, just hearing the teaching. I didn't even know it was my teaching until it was over with because he said it a different way than me. So I didn't know what was coming. So it was a trip because I saw the time. I remembered just saying it. And then I saw just 5 minutes later, it came back to me. And I was like, this is why having brothers, because it just dissipates when you just give it. When does it come back? Like eventually you want it. That's why a girlfriend's better than just a quick pickup in this sense, because some of it is reflected back to you over time. So you can develop the girl and she reflects back to you what you did right, what you did wrong, what, blah, blah, blah. You see so much cause and effect that it makes you better with other women in a deep sense. And, so I like this episode. I forgot why I was even saying that. I was going to email it and something about what you were saying.
I got to get on that email list. I haven't been getting the emails, by the way, but that's for another time.
Oh, yeah. Well, the link's in the description, Andrew. There was something I was going to say. Petitioning, making the money and connecting with the values, moving more frictionless. It's the best people for me in my life. And
yes, well, same.
Oh, I remember because a lot of people I talked to, I would say at least 200 people. I got a list of like 400 people, but I talked to like 200 people in the IMC community. And it's very interesting because I don't have any shyness about it. AZD was just teaching yesterday, I think, at some point, I forget which lecture it was, about here's how much money I make, here's my taxes that I paid, blah, 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 blah. Why shouldn't you know it? Here's still what I charge. And so I'm thinking it's like, you should know how many people out there are IMC Nation that are saying no to boot camps. You should know how many people are out there that are IMC Nation but are not responsive to, whoever I am trying to reach out to them. And you should know how special the people who say yes. I could tell you story after story. I would do it better. It would be better if they were in presence. Like if I told the story of Shamir, or I told the story of Sharif, or if I told the story just from my perspective, I told the story of DC, or told the story I get all these stories. I told the story of Brian Casella, Akash, what a story. Peter Kirkwood, untold story. And, these guys, so many guys, people that that you don't even know are in IMC Nation, but they're really, they hate sometimes. They're haters sometimes. They flip in the background. They go back and forth, but on the front end, they're really fronting. Yeah, there's a few of those. And
I did not know that at all.
Yeah, man, it's so fascinating. And so what happens is when I communicate with everybody, new questions come to me as I communicate with everyone. The story of Jordan Soucy. What a fucking story there. Man, I hope I never forget that story. It's still getting created, right? But I just remember the beginning, like the beginning. I say that because I think he's on. So, new questions will come to me. And then, so the people on the other end, it's like a wave that goes through them where I'll ask everyone the same question. Because I'll get 100 responses. And then by the time I get to the 100th time, my question has changed. And then now it goes back through again and whatever. And so in the evolution of speaking with IMC Nation, one of the things I ask them is, have you met another IMC Nation guy? mean, these people are all over the country and the world, Canada and the world. And
Yeah.
some of them have, some of them haven't. I'm surprised because they may not know how many people are in their city, in Tampa, Orlando, Toronto, Vegas, San Diego.
Yeah.
You know, and then other places I know more generally, like Netherlands, Croatia. That's pretty much. There's other, New Zealand and Australia. It gets bigger, right? And these are the dedicated guys. So anyway, turning it back over to you. So this beast, what can you tell me more about? There's no vacation, so it seems like you're confronting parts of your own life and psyche that was taking vacations from your goals or your ambition or your life.
Yeah.
And so now you're doing this petitioning. And tell me about this. How's it going? What is it like as the beast?
It's as the beast. What I like, especially, it's because I get up early. I've been sleeping in my tent ever since the boot camp outside.
Oh, yeah.
And
wow.
There was 2 nights I went to Mexico. I didn't sleep outside. I slept inside on the bed with the girl. But besides that, it's been outside in the tent every night. And it's nice because I wake up and I will start reading. I'll have my piece of toast with peanut butter on it, little journal. I'll switch book if I want to. Okay. And then I'll do my, and then I'll just work out. And then it's like when I finish the workout, then that's when I'll go. And I just try to get it done as fast as I can, but I'm not pressed on a time. And so there's lots of rejection. But there's lots of positivity. So you get into these great conversations with people, but you also have people screaming or doing stupid shit or saying dumb stuff. Yeah. So you're kind of like on display when you're out there, basically saying recall Newsom. And it's a sales game for sure, because the one you get paid for is one that upgrades the casinos, which allows sports betting, roulette, and dice games in the casinos, which is all positive. There's nothing negative about it. But you got to be ready to go. And as you and me know, we always sometimes like to go back to baseball. But of course, for some reason, it always reminds me of baseball, because you're not going to hit every single pitch and you're not going to sell every single person. But I feel like now I'm finally at a job, or I have the opportunity to sell in a way that my skills actually are reflecting. Like, I actually use my sell skills to make money, because they come not for the one that pays me, but based off getting in a conversation, talking, and they'll just sign it based off the communication. And you got to be willing to take beatings and take love. And wow. And it's hot out there. So I just last as long as I can until I'm like, all right. And then there's a bonus. And well, it's been 3 weeks, 350 signatures a week. There's an extra $1 bonus. So I just made sure I got over that every week. And it's fun. For sure.
Wow.
But I do need one of those legalized freedom shirts for sure.
Yeah. Let's get it on their display right there. Legalized.
Yeah, get that on display.
Yeah.
I need one of those.
When you get up here, because
sometimes
up here.
Yeah, let me say one more thing about that, because sometimes if they're not wanting to sign my casino one, I'll say something along the lines of, yeah, well, I like to think of it as like a freedom thing. I like to think of it as people spend the money how they want to, versus the government giving us restrictions or telling us how to spend our money.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the word freedom. Yeah, the word freedom is powerful. Freedom. I don't need to restrict how people spend their hard-earned money, and so it's a freedom. This is you're giving your energy towards freedom. Go about your day, know that you did something towards other people's freedom.
Yeah, definitely. And they're all about it. They're all positive, concealed carry. And you get to talk about real world stuff with real world people.
That's right.
Which is fulfilling.
You're getting a massive amount of interaction and communication with people in relatively, in reality, but also relative to people in quarantine.
Yeah. It blew my mind this morning when I saw the post that Wuhan had that major party with thousands and thousands of people, quote unquote, epicenter of the virus, no mask, everyone partying hard. And it's like, they're back to normal there. over here in California, we're so masked up. Someone yelled at me from their car today and was like, learn how to wear a mask so you don't be I don't know if they called me a murderer, but they're basically yelling at me something getting sick. And it wasn't the first time I've been yelled like that, because I have my mask around my chin, basically. Because sometimes I'll put it on, sometimes I'll put it off based off the person, because I'm obviously there trying to get the signature, but have more than half the time it's on my chin. But at the same time, I'll put it there just in case I got to throw it on to get the signature.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you do.
And it's just like,
you're playing.
It's just like, just the world. And I used to think it was just politics, but it's just not politics anymore. It's everyday life.
Yeah. And you're a warrior, man. You're the true justice warrior, you know?
Thank you.
You're out there, you're bringing order to the chaos of people's belief systems. You're boots on the ground, man. You're injecting your logic and your words, and you're straightening out people left and right. And even if they don't seem like they receive it, you brought them from level negative 970 to 960, negative 960. You brought them up a little bit, no matter what. It's impossible not to, no matter how you react. Mm-hmm. Even a non-reaction is a reaction, and whatever you do is going to be good because you're a beast and you train as a beast. And so it's just going to come out every moment of every day as long as you're true to your beast, you know?
Yeah. And there's a special immunity, an invisible beast immunity that goes with the workout and with the everyday Lions Den lectures that you could just motor through, and just like that extra energy. There's just, you know it.
Yeah. Well, let's give me some of your ideas before we wrap this up. Give me some ideas. What's the distinction between boot camp and the everyday Lions Den lectures? Why should people? Why should
I got it perfect. Or why should they come to the boot camps?
Or not? Like, what should they know?
Okay, so this is what they should know. The boot camps. I'm gonna put this in the sports setting, because I obviously played sports and I played college baseball. So, to me, the boot camps are like, they're like the practice. It's like you show up to practice and you practice harder. Practices should be harder than the games. But you get to the boot camp, you get around so many great people, and something just happens every single boot camp where you just came and explained, and you're just like, oh my God. And literally the world is just never the same after. Like, it's just not. And it's like, that's like, and then every day is like game day, and everyone is out there. Everyone's quote unquote on their own, but everyone's, it's not just the lectures anymore. It's through Telegram as well, where personally I used to, like, the hardest, like, I always struggle with waking up in the morning, but now as soon as I'll wake up, I'll check that Telegram. People are up, people are getting after it. And it's just like, these are the homies at the boot camp. It's like, these are the Beast Brothers. Let's go. And it's just that the camaraderie and the Beast energy is just felt. And there's the extra energy, and then there's this power that you just beast through the day. And then you get the lecture, which of course is like the AZD lecture. Like, I used to think I was spoiled on Diamond Mine when it was like a 5-7 minute video, and I was like, yes, like, let's go. But now sometimes it's like lectures at 7, it's like 9:30, and we're still going. And it's AZD on the lectures, and this just can't be beat.
Yeah. Yeah, the lectures.
That's not even saying as great as the lectures are, because the lectures are phenomenal, but I'm just already assuming someone already knows that.
Well, they may not. And it's a whole, environment of the Telegram group and the Lions Den lectures, and the consistency of the Lions Den lectures, and the consistency and the camaraderie and the support, it's not the word, I'm kind of dancing around it, but the accountability there. The accountability in the Telegram group. There ain't nobody in the Telegram group or on the Lions Den program that shouldn't be taking at the boot camp. There shouldn't be at the boot camp.
Seriously, because you got to go to the boot camp. You can't just not go to the boot camp, because it's like you're missing the picture if you don't go to the boot camp. It's like the meetup. Yeah. It's like, it's not like church, but it's like if you were to go to Sunday church, but it's not that, but it's something where, I don't know, it's just real life. Of course, the lectures and online is like, yes, it's real life, but like there's just, in person, just at the boot camps, there's just this, it's
Because you've done
unreal.
online and in person for both the boot camps. You did it with messengers online. And so,
Yeah.
there's a difference between online and in person, because there's an online
Yeah.
too.
Of course, online's great, but it just doesn't compare to in person. It just doesn't, like, because you get the content, but there's something invisible that you don't get.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is going to break the hearts of all the foreigners and even the people that are just right over the border in Canada. And they're like, man, I can't fucking come because of this stupid. There's some of them are, I think, plotting to just like sneak across the border just for an AZD camp.
You should.
Don't do it. No, don't break the law.
It's closed?
Huh?
I didn't know that they couldn't come to America.
They can come to America? Really?
I mean, I know I could go to Mexico right now, but I mean, I don't know about Canada.
You can go to, Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. Well, if you can attend, then you definitely should. There's our brothers in Canada, and if you're in Europe or whatever, I don't know if you can make it, but you definitely should. And I wonder if a foreigner, if they spoke good enough English, if they could do the petitioning. How funny would that be?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, that's the great thing about the petitioning is because, like, guys, I don't know, I'll just say this for everyone watching, that guys that came to the boot camp also hooked up with Jonathan, moved from out of state to come to petition. And
yeah,
it's not an easy job. Let's be real. Sometimes it sucks. You got to find that extra power because you're getting love and you're getting shit on, and it's like a nonstop. But at the same time, it's worth it. Yeah. It's so worth it. And the filming. But there's just the energy. The last 2 boot camps we had the Airbnb that everyone stayed at, which it's phenomenal. And just being at AZD's, just being at the Beast Center, it's not like anything else, like any other events that you'll ever go to either, because there's not like so many people where it's like you won't be noticed at all. It's like there's individual attention, and there's just things that just light you up on the inside, and it's like we're sitting on the ground and it's hot and no one even cares, and that's what just makes it even better.
It does make it better. Yeah, it's the experience, man. It'll rip you out of your reality, and you'll go back the same soft tissue bag of blood and bones, but you'll be completely different.
Completely different, like so different. And you don't even know, like, I don't even know, like, last time I was like, what was it? I don't even know, but it was just like, it's just been like way different.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, for me, the discipline really kicked in after this last, the July, which is absurd to think about. How long?
Please speak on that a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Because me too, but please. This is like the light shining back that you were talking about earlier.
Sure. I don't know when the shift happened, but it just something about after the boot camp, I was just like, just slightly less distracted and slightly more fed up with myself for just putting up.
I'm with you.
I felt like a little bit like Marcus Aurelius would say in his book Meditations. He says something like, a person that's complaining about what the universe provides them is no different than the pig that's squealing at the slaughterhouse. And I was just like, what? I had to keep looking. And then I felt like it really awakened more of that just awareness. And it's just more and more. And also a kind of a patience with myself, because I had found some stability, I think, in my pursuit of the routine. Like I was at an acceptable level. Well, now I was just like whittling away at it, making it better and better and better. But it was like established, like I had something established. And so I had like that framework. Like now I've moved into this location, and it's more, you could say I'm more free, let's say, more and more. Like right now, I just went and bought a coffee mug. I didn't have a coffee mug. I was staying in Airbnbs for 3.5 years. I didn't have a coffee mug. So last 2 nights, or was it just, last 2 nights, the last 2 mornings, I haven't had coffee, which helped me do whatever it was that I was doing. So it was a new to the routine. The beasting practice happened right out here in the backyard, or also right down the street, like literally 200 yards. So there's a lot of travel time saved. So my day could begin sooner, but I wasn't aware. My body, my system wasn't taking advantage of the reclaimed time. So I ended up slowing down because I would look at my clock and be like, oh, I got more time. And because I was used to a different pattern. So now that I've streamlined my life a little bit, I can see how I can condense more, get more of my day in, because I really want to just keep condensing it down more and more and more, but get even a more potent effect safely and all of this. I'm fascinated by it. And it's like efficiency. So like just modeling the parts of my day as variables in an equation and rearranging and making bigger or smaller or whatever, finding the right order so that it makes sense, looking at the end product and the output as like, that's the thing I'm valuing. Like, so all of this, wizardry with the numbers is for a purpose. Like, let me not just get caught up in the wizardry of what I'm doing. Like, there's a thing I'm doing, which is to free myself from finances, or to free myself from lack of choice with women, or to free myself from, mundane beliefs that, kill or diminish the color of life. And you don't even know that's kind of the addiction, I think, to the AZD method. He's around so many women so often that mundane conversation would lose them. So along the path to getting from whatever, one girlfriend at a time to wherever he is now, he made his language more fantastic and attractive based on principles of what attracts women. And more his time became occupied with just women, less teaching martial arts, less more teaching guys about women, or just being around women. And so the mind over the last decade has really formed and shaped around fantasy, and particularly not just hypnotizing fantasy, but like building relationships with women where you have unique fantasies for each woman that you can't really just cross over because one woman's fantasy, and it's not like sexual fantasy, it's like, it is, that's in there, but like, it's just the lifestyle. How do you refer to things? What do you laugh about? Like, there's a whole fantasy play reality with each woman, because the mundane loses them. You can keep one, but the mundane will make her intolerant of the second girlfriend. But if you keep her in her fantasy, then she just focuses on her relationship with you, which is what you want. Apparently, I'm like parroting things, is where I haven't had multiple girlfriends, but like, you can tell it makes sense because,
yeah, I can see how that makes sense. Right? I can actually see how I could possibly use that.
Fuck yeah, I'm just
to keep it in their fantasy. Like, what else like matters? Just
because the business and the success, whatever they're going for, is also should be in their fantasy, and but that's gonna be unique. Anyway, you were asking me about the discipline had come up. So I don't know how there was some logic for why I went into like the AZD, but the discipline, it's been in the waking has been simpler and easier. I'm looking for ways to make it more efficient because it's like down pat. And so the struggle has been real. All the things that we've all struggled with, I mean, waking and this and that, whatever, the loathing and self-talk. I'm catching more of my self-talk before sets, during reps. Afterwards, what am I saying to myself? Like the whole time, my visual, what am I in complaint mode? The energies of communication, day in and day out, I'm less tolerant of people fucking with me on my communication. And somebody said to me today, it was a girl, she said, can't join the Zoom for some reason. Damn it. You got to log in maybe to your Zoom? I think that's what it's.
Or maybe type it in manually, because that's what I have to do sometimes.
Oh, yeah. It's 7744982001. 7744982001. And 7744982001.
Discipline.
Yeah, discipline,
the thoughts between sets. Oh, what the girl said to you today.
The discipline is, I mean, I don't want to recall all that. Basically, I beasted out on her and just like fucking ripped her mind apart with it, because she comes at me with this nonsense bullshit of like, but in such a passive way that you couldn't just attack her for like her language of it, let alone that she's a soft little girl, like a woman, let me say, because of what's happening in the world. Soft little woman. Somebody just called you. Somebody just called Ratterman. Yeah. I know what happens there. Cause
it had to hit decline.
So anyway, like I got my language was very just like, I don't want to just say aggressive, but I I talked to her afterwards. It was funny because she was like, if you can't be soft, she said some bullshit like this, literally. She's like, if you can't be soft with me, then don't text because I can't handle it today. That's almost exactly what her text was.
Yeah.
So I'm contemplating like, what the fuck am I going to say to this? Because this has been dragging on too long with this kind of complaint. So I put my foot down. Finally, I say, whole bunch of shit that's just like, fucking quit the program, get the fuck out. If you think that I want you to quit, then just go ahead and quit. If you're going to complain, then just go ahead and quit. And you know what? Why don't you just quit? Something like that. But if you want to stay, then don't give me any more complaints about it. Learn how to communicate because you're fucking up. You're falling behind, like blah, blah, blah. I don't really ever let up. And later when I talked to her, I'm like, was I ever soft with you? She says, no. You could handle it, couldn't you? She says, yeah. And I was like, and I tell her, I'm like, when I thought of all of the ways that I was going to respond to you, every way, because I'm learning more and more, probably through how do you tease apart just maturing as a person from this practice of beast is maturing me. But it does come together. The practice and discipline of the working out gives me more self-awareness that just kind of goes into the rest of my day. And I do yoga, right? So yoga, it was already an independent solo practice. Don't play music, be with yourself, breathe, find alignment. Arash gave me the ideas of self-imagery. How do you see yourself? What are you aligning in a cosmic sense, in an astral sense, a causal sense, an energetic sense, and then the physical sense, and all of that stuff. And then the language of self-esteem, like I could talk myself into a state or talk myself into a self-image, whatever. So it was so powerful. So a utility of my mind that I wasn't using before with just general yoga practice. So I was integrating that ninth limb yoga, bada bing, bada boom. Now we're at the beast, which is explosive training. There's failure. You don't do yoga to failure. So you have sets that you go to failure so it's a different, you tap into a different thing there. And
lots of sets till failure.
Yeah, a lot. And then over and over. And then you face it day in and day out. What are you saying to yourself? You got to know that you're always saying something to yourself.
Mm-hmm. And did I really do everything to get to this failure? Or was there something else left in there?
That's very beastly of you. It really came out there. That was like, you were almost like a condor. You remind me of a condor or some kind of really large bird of prey kind of thing. But a large, not like the fast one or the eagle that soars so high, but just like a big motherfucker that would rip you apart kind of. But it flies. So it's not like the giant bird of prey that stands on the ground and can't fly. So I saw like a condor or something.
That killer condor, dude.
Seriously. From California, right there.
All right, go on. Sorry, I just got motivated because I go through that thought process all the time. I'm just like, oh, I know I did, or it's like,
Yeah, I don't even remember. But so tech, the IMC tech was in my yoga, and Johnny Ranger Johnny Freedom would kind of like that story. So then, and right about that time is when I met John, and that was in Texas, and I was like starting the silent flute, and I was really integrating like AZD's methods into my yoga, kind of forming a new yoga. So now with the calisthenics, it's like a new kind of energy, and of course, giving all these new processes for how to use the emotions of memory and thoughts and trauma or miscommunications, just like whatever. How to use your emotion, basically magic, law of attraction stuff, but using the calisthenics and with his code, because he has a code. It's not just the code of how to do the law of attraction, it's the code of mating. So he has the mating code. How do you apply the law of attraction to the mating code? And it's a code, meaning it's discrete. It's not vague. There's an actual right, and there's everything else is wrong kind of thing. And there's adaptation and whatever, but so discipline. So I just kind of went forward in time through that.
I like that.
Yeah. I don't think there was something unspoken, but we should do more of these so I can speak more on it, really.
Like, that picture you had, you were looking like you were from fucking Olympus. The shirt one where you had the pose.
Oh, yeah. And it was a self-image because I don't know how I aligned my muscles in that way that made it look a certain way. But I stopped looking at the camera. Once I knew I was in the camera, and then I stopped looking somewhere and doing something, I started looking inside at who was I being? If the world had to see through my eyes what I wanted it to be. And that's what it was acknowledged by everything. The trees, the people around, the world was their movie in their mind is my movie in my mind. They take what I see. Who do I see doing this? What does it look like? And what it was I was at a very big Coliseum competing for the ancient Olympics with a javelin. I had a javelin in my hand, and I was wound up tight like a bow, ready to toss it.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that for sure.
So that was the self-image of it. So the discipline that's what it was. The discipline has been how I get my condor face on. This is like my snake face. How undisciplined I have been in my self-imagery throughout my beast practice. That's the discipline has been coming up. Wow, how long I unconsciously allow negativity to persist in my morning before I intervene and say, fuck this, and just do what I'm supposed to do. And then it comes back, and I got to assert myself again and again and again and again and again. And I think that's been the biggest transformation, that thing right there, since the last
awesome
for me.
I'm excited you said that, because now I got that tomorrow, because there's times where I'm like, I'm so tired right now. There was one day, one of the leg days, I did finish the abs, and I set my alarm for 2 minutes, 22 seconds. I swear I had like 5 dreams, just out cold. Woke up, I'm like, all right, to the legs we go. And I was tired that day, but I'm gonna work on that, what you just said. And that's some golden keys right there.
Nice. Good. Okay. Anybody listening to this podcast, you need to sign up for the boot camp right now. Send me a message, email me. Also, if you're whatever platform, subscribe, and we'll see you at the next one. You can find Andrew Ratterman on. Oh yeah, you got something?
I just want to add one more thing about that last boot camp and the self-discipline thing.
Yeah.
And you said, like, you've been saying the self-discipline, it's the last boot camp with the self-discipline for me too. It almost helped me find an inner peace more of like, just stay with the program, continue and focus on how you did in the day and continue with the beast process versus like the thoughts I maybe used to entertain, like, oh, my hypnotherapy practice. How come I'm not doing super good at this? What exactly do I want to do with my life? And just like that shit that's just been silenced. And to the internal discipline, beast out, do what's best. And yeah, it was just transformational.
Man, confidence, right? And self-confidence.
Yeah. So I think that might I just had to get that out last say on the podcast.
You might see an Instagram clip of this. I don't know. We got to get the apprentice on it. So thank you, Andrew Ratterman, for joining us from San Diego. Anybody in San Diego, you can hit him up there. Find him on Instagram, Andrew Ratterman, 2 T's. And we'll catch you on the next episode.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Yes. Thank you. You're welcome.